Let's bring in somebody live on the couch. It's great to have Senator Lindsey Graham.
I don't know if this is live, but I'm here.
Oh, you are live. You are live because you're here. The United Nations is here. First off, on the border crisis, you said there's one thing we could do right now.
Well, everybody's coming to seek asylum. If you said you can't apply for asylum in the United States, we no longer accept asylum claims inside the country, they'd all stop coming. Trump did that, and it went to a 45-year low.
First country you're in.
Yeah. Okay, if you're from the Triangle countries, you have to apply there.
Yep.
If you come from some other place, we send you back to Mexico. You sit in Mexico, you make your application. You can't come here to your hearing, which is 3 or 4 years down the road.
Right.
It would all stop overnight. Nobody's going to pay a bunch of money to sit in Mexico for 5 years.
Yeah, no kidding. We were chatting in the green room briefly, and you were kind of recounting everything that's gone haywire. I want you to look at a tweet from an Associated Press reporter at the White House by the name of Jonathan Lemire. He tweeted out yesterday, the Pentagon admitted its errant drone strike. COVID boosters did not get full approval. France recalled the ambassador. The punishing headlines, all within an hour on Friday, underscored the perils for a president from uncontrollable events that can define a term. Were these uncontrollable events, or was this all just kind of bad strategery from the Biden people?
He chose poorly at every turn. If he had done nothing on the border, would be okay. He changed the remaining Mexico policy. He did away with the asylum agreements with the Triangle countries. Guess what? We're overrun, like the Border Patrol told the transition team of Biden in December and January. If he'd have left the troops at Bagram, never closed Bagram Air Base, we wouldn't have the Taliban in charge. If you keep spending money like this, we're going to have inflation through the roof. So all this is self-inflicted, but there's a perfect storm brewing, guys. The chaos in the Mideast is going to come to us here at home through the border if we don't change soon.
How?
Just how easy would it be for a terrorist group to hire some cartel to take them into the United States through the southern border, get in the middle of this humanity? Like the Haitians, they're not sending Haitians back, they're sending men back, and the women and children are staying. So nothing changes until you change our asylum law, but I'm really worried about the narrative out there that America was defeated in Afghanistan. Every jihadist is going to Afghanistan, and there will soon be an effort to infiltrate this country through the southern border if we don't do something about it.
It's just a matter of time?
Matter of time, and time is running out. The chatter, and I don't want to scare people, but the chatter's real. I mean, they're winning.
Are you talking about stuff you hear because you're on secret committees?
Well, it's not so much. We hear things that the average person doesn't, but the chatter out there is really real. Al-Qaeda and the Taliban are one and the same. There'll be an effort to normalize relationships with the Taliban. That will be a disaster. Any money you pay them doesn't go to the people of Afghanistan, it goes to them. And they will give safe haven to Al-Qaeda because they believe the same. They have a common purpose.
What's your reaction to the fact that we still have individuals there? We have not only our allies, but we do have Americans there. They're saying maybe 100. I've heard 100, 200.
Who knows?
Exactly.
Well, my reaction is this was self-inflicted, that if you had left the military in country and got all the civilians out first like a normal person, you wouldn't have this problem. Who in the world takes all the military out, then hope you can get the civilians out later? This is a case study in just screwing up how to withdraw from a country.
The Bob Woodward book says that Milley, as well as his Secretary of State,
right,
as well as the Secretary of Defense, all recommended he did not pull out all the troops, especially that way. He said, I appreciate it, I listened, but I'm doing it my way.
Well, President
Is that true from your sources?
No, so this is really important. Everybody in his circle said, leave a residual force. Leave the 2,500, keep Bagram. It's an insurance policy against another 9/11. It was Joe Biden and Joe Biden alone who decided to pull all the troops out. Trump told me last couple of nights ago he'd have kept Bagram. If you'd have kept Bagram and the CIA post down along the border, the Taliban could never take over and Al-Qaeda wouldn't come storming back like they are today. So this is General Biden knowing more than all the generals combined. He was told by everybody, leave a residual force. It was his decision to pull the plug, just like it was in Iraq with him and Obama.
Right. Some more bad news from the White House. I believe it was Sunday night when the parliamentarian for your group, the Senate, said, you know what, the Democrats, God bless their hearts, trying to do this, but you cannot insert migration control or immigration into
DACA.
the reconciliation thing. Just can't do it.
Because it's got to be budget.
The way the rules are set up. So now the Democrats are going to Plan B. What's that going to look like?
Nobody's more happy about this ruling than the Democrats. If you actually put DACA legalization in a reconciliation package where you only need 50 Democratic votes, they would own legalizing probably 1 million people. Can you imagine the run on the border if word got out tomorrow? Hey, they just gave 1 million people legal status. Hurry on down.
Right.
I believe it would be 8 to 10 million. They were talking about legalizing illegal
If
immigrants.
you legalize one person before you secure the border and reform a broken immigration system, the run on the border will be worse than it is today.
The 3.5, is it dead?
It depends on
Cradle to
cinema
grave social programs from preschool
I think part
to
of
college.
it is. I think at most they'll do $1 trillion, $1.5 trillion. The 3.5 being package is written is dead. It's an inflation bomb. I talked to Manchin a couple of nights ago. He told me, and I don't know if this is accurate, that we spent more money since the onset of COVID to deal with COVID than we did to win World War II and the Marshall Plan. If that's true, then we need to slow down because we're going to create inflation for decades to come here if we don't watch
Because
it.
people are feeling that with the high prices.
They
It's
are.
the number
It's
one
the number one
issue.
concern. What do you know about how are we getting our people back from Afghanistan? Are we negotiating with the Taliban?
This is the ultimate question. We need to have a hearing about what relationship we have with Afghanistan. Okay, how do you get on the plane? 28 Americans got on a plane from Afghanistan to Qatar. Thank you to the Qataris. What system is in play to get you on that plane? Why do you get on and somebody else doesn't? Are we paying money to the Taliban? I want to know the system that's in place to get our people out. And what are we doing about the thousands of Afghan interpreters, translators, and fighters who fought along our side? So my fear is that Taliban are milking us dry, that they're letting out small groups over a long period of time to have leverage over us. And I'd like to turn it on them. I'd like to say, you got 30 days to get all of our people out or else.
Wow, that's fascinating to find out because we know we're about to write a check for $64 million for humanitarian aid. Who greenlighted that? Don't they have to check with you before they give aid out to a terrorist regime?
So all of us, a bunch of Republicans have bills that say not a penny for the Taliban. The World Food Program, people are starving in Afghanistan. The economy has collapsed. I don't mind helping individual Afghans, but I don't want to give a dime to the Taliban. The Taliban are in fact the benefactor of al-Qaeda. We got attacked once when they were in charge. We're going to get attacked twice if we don't, the second time if we don't watch it. And ISIS is coming after them. 15% approval rating by the Taliban. How do they run this country? They won't. So if we prop them up, it'll be the biggest mistake since the withdrawal. The last thing you want to do is provide aid and comfort, American taxpayer dollars, to keep a terrorist group in charge of Afghanistan who paved the way for the first 9/11. And that's what Biden's about to do. They're about to create a relationship between the United States and the Western world where we prop up the Taliban, and we will live to regret that.
All right. Senator Lindsey Graham, great to have somebody
Good morning.
on the couch.
Well, these are the issues. Is this crisis
There's a lot
control?
going on.
There's something better. I just don't know what it is.
As you started, you said it's a big mess and gives us plenty to talk about.
Well, this month we'll find out if there is a Biden agenda.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.